Each country has a culture that is completely distinct and unique, and Vietnamese does too. Famous for 1,000 years of cultural and fascinating history, Vietnam has always been an attractive destination for friends from all over the world. The Vietnam General Department of Tourism estimates that there are 8 million tourists to Vietnam every year. Not to mention the thousands of foreigners who are living and working in Vietnam. Of these, the majority are young foreign people who want to come to Vietnam and learn more about the Vietnamese culture. They're very not from familiarity with the new and unique culture of Vietnam. They have shared their feelings and receiving the difference in Vietnamese culture.
Crazy. Busy.
Fun. Hectic.
Noisy.
Busy. Exciting.
Nice.
Stunning and friendly.
Busy. Surprising. Diverse.
Vibrant.
Terrific.
Hanoi is an exciting city. Didn't know what to expect and found it very thrilling. The pace of the city is extremely quick.
Hello everyone, welcome to Sharing Vietnam on VTC10 NetViet. Have you seen from the previous reportage? Many foreign friends have shared their surprise and interest about the Vietnamese cultures when they first came to Vietnam. And in our program today, we would like to introduce to you an American Vietnamese who has just been here for the first time and share the same interest for the Vietnamese culture. Thank you, Linh Chi, so much for joining Sharing Vietnam. First of all, we would like to know on the purpose of you coming to Vietnam this time.
So I study medicine in the United States, and I'm very interested in global health and especially trying to understand more of Vietnamese culture because my heritage is, my parents are from Vietnam, so I really wanted this opportunity to interweave my interest in global health and Vietnamese culture. And so in Vietnam, I did research for 3 weeks at the Hanoi School of Public Health, and I spent 3 weeks at the National Hospital of Pediatrics.
So since this is your first time coming back to Vietnam, your heritage country, what are your feelings and what are your impressions of Vietnam besides from those that you have heard from your parents?
Yes, I did hear about Vietnam from my parents, and they do speak Vietnamese with me, and they also cook a lot of Vietnamese food. So I know about that and Tết Trung Thu and some other holidays and foods. So the food I'm familiar with, but some other dishes such as bánh mì sot vang, I was not very sure, but it was very good. And I tried many other dishes that I've not heard before that they didn't have in the United States. Oh, I tried mắm tôm. Yes, it's very strong, very different.
From what we all can observe, many foreign people when coming to Vietnam find many different traditions and many different unique features of Vietnam. What about yourself? What are the things that interest you in Vietnam?
So I read a lot about the motorbikes and how crossing the traffic, how to cross the street, but I got used to it by trying to go by myself a lot and trying to walk very slowly, which is the key. And I shadowed physicians at the National Hospital of Pediatrics, and it was very surprising that they wear sandals in the operating room, which is very different from the United States. But it's very interesting just to see how there are differences in the way medicine is practiced in different countries. Just reading it isn't enough. You have to, I like to go there and actually experience it myself so that I can get the true feeling of what it's like. So kind of the driving, just driving in general, how everyone is so jam-packed together. There's a lot of traffic. The cars drive really slowly. In America, we have cars that drive 90 kilometers per hour, but in Vietnam, it's much slower. So it was very different, not what I'm used to when I'm in a car usually.
A new learning environment, new people, new culture are what the young people face when visiting or going to study in another country. This situation will make you easy to fall into lost, hard to settle in the land of people if you're not well prepared before coming. Therefore, in order to help Vietnamese young people can understand more about the difference in the culture of each country, as well as have young foreigners currently living and working in Vietnam be acquainted with the culture and custom of Vietnam, Active English Hub held a workshop on culture shock. The workshop aims to provide the site for young people of Vietnam before choosing to visit or to study abroad in a particular country. You need to prepare psychologically and learn in advance about the culture, customs, and traditions of that country to avoid the odd surprise and culture shock.
Thực ra thì theo mình thì những cái kiến thức ở đây mỗi người diễn giả đều chia sẻ những cái kinh nghiệm, và từ những cái kinh nghiệm đấy thì mình sẽ có những cái mường tượng về những cái điều mà mình sẽ phải gặp khi mà ra nước ngoài, và cũng có một sự chuẩn bị nó tốt hơn, có một chuẩn bị nghiên cứu kỹ càng về cái quốc gia mình sắp đến ấy. Thì đương nhiên sốc văn hóa nó sẽ được giảm thiểu và nó sẽ được giảm bớt đi rất nhiều.
Cảm giác như mình không thể hòa nhập được vào trong cái cộng đồng đấy, nên là và cũng là vì công việc của mình và cái mong muốn của mình được đi học ở nước ngoài nhiều, nên là mình cũng muốn là nhân cái cơ hội này thì được nghe những cái chia sẻ của những anh chị mà đã từng có những cái trải nghiệm là ở châu Âu hay là ở bên Mỹ. Họ có thể chia sẻ với mình những cái thông tin, những cái nghĩ là cái thông tin kiến thức mà làm thế nào đấy để mình có thể hòa nhập tốt hơn, mình hiểu biết, mình lưu ý tốt khi mà mình bước chân lên một vùng đất mới.
Tôi mong muốn là mọi người không cảm thấy quá xa lạ hay là quá sốc đối với một nền văn hóa mới, tại vì những nền văn hóa mới thường là những nền văn hóa có cái nét đặc trưng riêng, rất là thú vị, nên là mình đối mặt với một nền văn hóa mới thì mình nên cởi mở.
For many of us, it's very difficult to step in a new environment, a new culture, to get familiarized with new customs and traditions. What about yourself? What are your tips of adopting and familiarize with Vietnam in particular and with a new culture in general?
Personally, I think it's really good to be open and non-judgmental because it's a culture. It's like the way people live their life, and so we have to be really open and respectful of how people choose to live and how a culture has developed over time. And so I suggest reading a lot and trying to engage with local people and trying to understand their perspective, which is really important in a trip because you're trying to learn about a new culture and new people and why they live in that way, and try to understand who they are as a person and their background.
So what are the source of information that you would find in order to know more about Vietnam?
Yes, I've read a couple websites and a couple blogs, and then I've talked with some of my other relatives who went to Vietnam, and they gave me some tips. And my aunt goes to Vietnam regularly for her business trip, so she gave me a lot of advice on how to cross the street and how to bargain, and so it's been a really good experience here.
What is the value of travel for you?
I think traveling has given me a lot of self-confidence because this is the first time I've actually traveled by myself, and so I took the plane and I did everything kind of by myself, trying to figure out making friends, and so it gave me a lot of self-confidence that I can do such a challenging thing by myself, because a lot of people are hesitant about traveling by themselves because they don't know people, but Vietnam was also a little bit familiar because I knew some of the language. I didn't know all of it, so it was but traveling kind of gave me appreciation of culture, cultural differences, and how it's important to get to know people who are different from you.
Do you think that travel would give you a sense of being a global citizen?
Yeah, I think traveling is a really good experience, but however, a lot of people can't afford to travel. So there are other ways to try to engage in global citizenship, kind of reading the newspaper, trying to stay up to date with current events, trying to understand how the world works around us, not just in your country, but in other countries as well. So I think it's really important. Even though I'm in Vietnam, I still read the newspaper about what's going on in France and what's going on in the Middle East and many other different places. So like not just traveling, but trying to engage yourself in global affairs, like you know what's going on.
And I'm very curious, like after this experience of coming to Vietnam, would you intend to come back?
Yes, I think so. I definitely plan to come back next year. I really hope that I can see more hospitals in Vietnam and see what it's like and learn and practice in the future, maybe work on health policy with the Ministry of Health. I'm very interested in policy, medical education, and the surgery that they do here is very impressive. Vietnam is great. I love the people here. I think like A++ for the people. They're like really friendly, and I really enjoy like who they are as people, because like every nation has good and bad, but I think for like all the people I've met are like really great, really friendly, and I like the sense of community that Vietnam has. Like everyone knows kind of knows each other and cares for each other, which I think is really important in a society collectively. And I like the way medicine here is taught, and like a lot of people, they learn in depth very well, and like super friendly. Yes, like the people are great. So I think like having really good people and like being really friendly and open to foreigners is trumps all negative things in Vietnam.
Thank you, Linh Chi, so much for all of your sharing today. I hope that all of your dream and your intentions of coming back to Vietnam and being a doctor will come true in the future. And that's the end for Sharing Vietnam today. Thank you so much for watching us. Hope that this show has shared with you an interesting view of a young American Vietnamese who just came back to her home country for the first time. Any questions and recommendations, please email to sharingvietnam@netvittv.net. Thank you and see you again.